Municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa would like to acknowledge and recognize that we are operating on Treaty 1 and Treaty 2 land, being the original territory of the Anishinaabe and Dakota Nations and homeland of the Métis Nation. Be it resolved that the agenda for the February 18th, 2025 meeting be accepted. Zimmer delegation and bylaw number 43-2020. Second by Councilor McDonald. Any discussion? Favor?
Favor.
Carried. Be it resolved that the minutes of the January 21st, 2025 meeting of council will be hereby approved as certain. Mover. I'll second by Councilor Fisher. Any discussion? All in favor?
In favor.
Be it resolved that the February 10th, 2025 general accounts payable being checked 7827 to 7832, 834 to 7879, W and AW. The amount of 174. Be hereby approved. Jones, second by Councilor Fisher. Any discussion? Favor?
In favor.
Councilor Jones.
She laughed.
Okay, be it resolved that general account check 7832 Guild Insurance Brokers Incorporated in the amount of $13,846 be hereby approved. Do I have a mover? Seconder? Any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Favor.
Be it resolved that direct deposit 345 being staff payroll for the period January 18th to January 31st, 2025 in the amount of $15,430. Payments be hereby approved. Seconded by Fisher. Any discussion?
Favor.
Be it resolved that direct deposit 348 being staff payroll for the period February 1st to February 14th, 2025 in the amount of $15,430. That's be hereby approved. Bill, second. All in favor?
In favor.
Be it resolved that direct deposit 347 being council indemnities for the month of January 2025 in the amount of $331. Moved by Councilor McDonald, second. Jones. Discussion. Favor?
In favor.
Be it resolved that the February 10th, 2025 utility accounts payable being checked 9 to 1240. Fisher, second. Jones. Discussion. Favor?
Favor.
Be it resolved that the statement of revenues and expenditures report to January 31st, 2025 be received as. Harold, seconded by Councilor Fisher. Favor?
In favor.
Be it resolved that the bank reconciliations for the month of January 2025 be as previously circulated. Moved by Harold, seconded by Jones. Any discussion? All in favor?
Favor.
Be it resolved that this regular meeting now adjourns to an in-camera meeting to matters of various states and matters of enforcement as per subsections 52, 3B2, 3, and 5 of the Municipal Act. And all matters discussed in camera are confidential until discussed in an open meeting. Section 83, 1B of the Municipal. Moved by Councilor McDonald, seconded by Councilor Jones. Discussion. All in favor?
In favor.
Camera meeting is now resumed back to a regular meeting. You do that. Fisher, seconder. Mr. McDonald, all in favor?
In favor.
You. Okay, you got to presuming bank rec.
Okay.
Be resolved that the October 1st to December 31st, 2024 RCMP policing report as previously distributed be received. Moved by Councillor Jones, seconder, Councillor Fisher. All in favor?
In favor.
Yep. Withdrawn, so now we're into communication. Is that right?
Okay, under the order of communications, we have information from the Association of Manitoba Land Surveyors for their 2025 annual register. We have got information from Association of Manitoba Municipalities dated January the 24th, February 6th, and February the 7th. Information from Bell Telephone with respect to Manitoba Public Safety Communication Service. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers have provided information on an industry inquiry commission. Council, should you decide that you want to pass a resolution on that, you need to pull it out, and we would do that separately from the adoption of receiving you. Community Futures Westman gave information on the Community Spaces funding. Federation of Canadian Municipalities provided information dated January the 20th, January the 27th, February 1st, February 3rd, and February the 10th. Manitoba Accessibility Online provided their February 2025 newsletter. Manitoba Environment and Climate Change gave their climate adaptation planning for communities information, as well as the atlas for this region. Manitoba Gravel Roads Academy 2025 information was provided. Manitoba Good Roads Association gave information on their AGM and awards banquet. Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure provided information on road PR 348 proposed culvert replacement. Manitoba Transportation and Infrastructure sent information on the emergency plan. Minister of Transportation and Infrastructure provided information on their investment strategy. Municipal and Northern Relations Bulletin number 28 of 24 is the Property Assessment Services Levy. You've seen that one before, but they did provide their slide deck to go with it. So we put it back on. Bulletin number 03 of 2025 is the Homeowners Affordability Tax Grant. Number 04 of 2025 is the 2025 Aggregate Mining and Transportation Update to Fees. Province of Manitoba gave information on community development grant programs. They also provided information on the Safer Communities and Neighborhoods Act. Rural Municipality of Cornwallis provided information on their zoning bylaw amendment. Species at Risk gave information and an invitation for comment on their review. Southwest Horizon School Division gave information on their AGM and budget consultation meeting date. And Way to Go Consulting provided information on ward boundary reviews.
Okay, be it resolved that the above noted communications be received. Moved by Councillor McGregor, second Councillor McDonald. Does anybody want to deal with the Canadian Union of Postal Workers?
Mr. Chairman, just a couple things. The Manitoba Good Roads Academy, it's in Brandon this year, and I just wondered if possibly it's just part of a day on March 18th or 19th, possibly maybe Chelsea, and maybe if there's any of our staff's available, that might be something to attend while it's in Brandon instead of Winnipeg. It's may learn something about Chelsea and a few things. Just a thought for me. And the next one is just when you mentioned Southwest Horizon annual general meeting in Hartney tomorrow night, and I'll be attending that. So I thought you want to go there already. Thank you.
All in favor?
In favor.
Okay, committee reports. Written reports. I have Councillor Fisher, you have a written report, anything to add?
Nothing to.
Councillor Jones, you have a written report, anything to add?
Negative.
Counselor Hatch, you have a written report.
Yeah, nothing to add.
Counselor McDonald, written report, anything to add?
Nothing yet.
Counselor McGregor, anything to add to your report?
Nothing.
Nothing from Ryan. CAO's report,
Nothing further.
finance officer, anything to add?
Yes, after doing a review, we have, there's 19 properties right now going to tax sale. They've gone to tax assess, and we suspect most of them will pay once they get their letter from them, which should be 50.
Big number.
Mhm.
Public Works, anything to add?
Yeah, just that we had an operator resignation. And just an update on the dosing, that's going really well, really impressed with what they've been doing. We had gone to change a water meter and it fell apart, so we had to call in someone to come help us. There was a sewer investigation on Saturday, which I dealt with. And that's it. Well, I had a conversation with Russ, GPI, about the hauling on that thing too.
Oh, okay.
Didn't have to report for you guys on that.
Okay. Good. Counselor,
Mr. Chairman, just a question on the grader, any word on,
Yeah, the mechanic's on his way right now.
so they figure they can get it going today or is it-
Oh, I'm not sure about that.
yeah, I just heard that.
He's on his way. That's all I know so far.
Maybe you can update us after, I would just send out, please.
okay, so we have the fire chief's report and let's see, be it resolved that the verbal and written reports be received. Move that. Councilor Fisher, all in favor?
In favor.
Okay, so we have the building ad hoc. On that.
No, I did not. Under this one, all you're doing is receiving it, and then under general business is where there may be direction.
So be it resolved that report of the building feasibility ad hoc committee dated January 2nd, 2025 be received and recommendations considered under general business. We need to move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Jones, all in favor?
Favor.
Thank you. Personnel Policy Committee, be it resolved that the report of the Personnel Policy Committee dated January 30th, 2025 be received and recommendations considered under general business. Moved by Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Jones. Discussion. All in favor?
Favor.
Okay, Bob, did you want to touch on that first one?
I would make note of the fact that the chair and deputy chair contacted the office on Friday with respect to special services bylaw for recreation services.
That's municipal board.
That's municipal board. And they have indicated that they have an error in their decision document. They would like the opportunity to fix that error. They will work on it as quickly as they can and keep the municipality aware. And I'll bring further information when we talk about budget as to what that might include for implications.
Okay, so that is in regard to, they're saying because of the submissions is what they.
Their decision document had indicated that they had received no opposition.
Right. It's just that I had an inquiry about that, so I want to make sure that everybody understands that. Yes, the inquiries went in, it just wasn't covered under their document and it's going to be addressed by them again.
Yes, it has to be their decision document that they send back out to.
So bylaw number 44-2024 being a special services bylaw for the collecting and transporting of waste and recycling materials. Be it resolved that bylaw number 44-2024 being a special service bylaw for the collecting, transporting of waste and recycling materials be read a second time. Moved by Councilor Fisher, second by Councilor McGregor. Discussion? All in favor?
Favor.
Carried. We have resolved that the bylaw number 44-2024 be read a third and final time. Moved by Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Jones. This is a recorded vote. All in favor?
In favor.
Okay. Unfinished business we're going to now.
We are.
Be it resolved that Schedule A attached to the Public Works and Transportation Services Committee report dated November 7th, 2024, be deleted and replaced with new Schedule A dated January 21st, 2025. I need to move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Fisher, discussion. Mr. McGregor,
Mr. Chairman. Don't we need to record somewhere the minimum bids that we put on these?
I think what we will do is when we put it up on our website, we will make note of what the new Schedule A looks like. So the new Schedule A has an amount for the 1,000 single wall tank of $3,000. The 1,000 gallon double walled has a price reserve bid of $5,000. And the 500 gallon gas tank double walled has a reserve bid of $2,500. We will make that available to area residents first, and if we don't receive any bids or the bids don't meet the reserve price, they will go to auction.
else, all in favor?
In favor.
Okay, so the bylaw reserve review.
That is what we are on.
Be it resolved that the administration be directed to prepare an amendment to procedure bylaw number 06-2018 as amended to change council meeting times from 9 AM to 2:30 PM. Somebody to move that? Mr. Jones, seconder. Officer McGregor, discussion?
Oh, sir, you go ahead.
No,
You first, please.
you can do it first. Please.
Yeah, third time is charm, hopefully. I'm just trying to get this so it can be here more often, and me coming here is based on what I have left from any overtime that I do and vacation time. I'm still missing work, but less of an impact. Spending time with my family, I guess, so, yeah, that's all I have.
I have two questions, so you feel free to deal with one at a time or somebody else in between. First one is to Councilor Jones, just to understand, you can take half day off if it's in the afternoon, but not as looking, or just wanted to
It's
make sure.
just trying to use the less of my vacation time.
Okay, so starting at 2:30 would mean that closer to
Yeah,
the end of the day.
yeah.
Second question. All right, is to Jolene, just on the impact to staff costs. Change, like,
Shouldn't have any impact if meetings still continue to run an hour and a half or 2 hours long. We are still within our normal workday.
so it's just those rare times that are good.
Mr. Chairman, I just wanted to add, I know where Frank's coming from. I knew when the meetings were, I used vacation or bank time for them when I was working, but I just think from 2:30, we're gonna be into overtime for staff, and I don't know if that's where we wanna go. So that's my theory on that. Because very rarely we're out of here in 2 hours.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Frank, I've got nothing against you, I got nothing against anyone, whatever, but then you're absolutely castrating me, so I'm sorry. All the extra things I do, it won't work, so. At 9 o'clock, I can be done driving a school bus and get here in time for the meeting. At 2:30, it's gonna run into bus times, which I do quite often. And besides the extracurricular, other boards that I'm on, it's just, I can't adjust it. I'm sorry. So,
It handcuffs me completely, but
well,
me, so.
and again, it's just, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Chairman, and like, I'm pretty flexible. I kind of concerned that the 2:30 till 4:30 on certain days is not going to allow enough time for a council meeting, but
Okay. Everything, I'll call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed?
opposed.
Okay. And the general business, we have be resolved that the Manitoba Municipalities Online Report for the month of January 2025 be received and any necessary actions to the bylaw maintenance program be hereby approved. By Councilor McGregor, second to Councilor McDonald, discussion. All in favor?
Favor,
Okay, whereas the province of Manitoba is committed to continued investment into water and sewer infrastructure, which includes an annual board budget currently for $24 million. Whereas to initiate the board's capital planning process for the 2026-2030 5-year capital plan, Manitoba Water Services Board is requesting assistance in identifying new water and sewer projects that each municipality is considering in the next 2 to 5 years, starting in 2025. Whereas the priority projects identified in 2024 are still the priority projects for us. A cost sharing agreement between the Manitoba Water Services Board and the municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa has been entered into with respect to required design study required to move forward with the identified priorities. And whereas in order to be shovel ready, should funding be received, the venture bylaw has been approved by the municipal board. Now therefore be it resolved that the administration be directed to submit the required application to the Water Services Board for the following prioritized projects, whereby if approved, the municipal portion is to be included for consideration by the venture. Priority 1, commercial street water line replacement and upgrade. Priority 2, water street relining, 1 block. And priority 3, park street relining, 1 block. With that, Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor McGregor, discussion. All in favor?
in favor,
Thank you. Okay, be resolved that the report of the Chief Administration Officer dated February 13th, 2025, related to the 2025 preliminary budget received. I'm to move that. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Fisher, discussion. All in favor? Just a minute.
Yeah, so if I could, so in my report, I have indicated the information that is currently included in the budget and where that gets council sitting. What isn't included in it is anything going into the general reserve specific to community safety officer. There is enough money in the reserve that should council decide that that moves forward, depending on the discussion goes regionally, we could just withdraw with resolution out of the general reserve. I have included in there the money under these grants, $20,000 in 2025, and you would need to consider another 2020. There are another 20,000 in 2026. Should you decide that you want to support the Spirit Sands. So that had been council's kind of general discussion was putting 40,000 up front. This was a way it could be done, putting it over the 2 years. And the other thing that is included in the budget is an allocation to the building reserve. So that the council is wanting to move forward in 2026 with any kind of a new shop build, you're starting to put money into the building reserve. So if council wants to make any changes on those, now would be the time to kind of have some of that discussion around the table so that we could finalize the document in order to move forward for the public hearing. And then the other thing I should mention is that the way the resolution, the next resolution reads, is that we would be holding the public hearing on March the 18th. I think that would need to be changed to read subject to receipt of the information from the municipal board. And then I guess what I need from council is direction if the municipal board should either decide that it is going to hold a public hearing. Is council prepared to back up their date for the public hearing on the financial plan? And should such a thing happen as the municipal board were to deny the special services levy? I haven't heard any discussion around the table that would indicate that council is not prepared to finance the grant to Souris River Rec. But what it would mean then is that is going under the at-large portion. It kind of defeats what council was wanting to do with respect to having more of the onus for recreation on the Wawanesa residents, as well as to take some of the onus off the class 30 lands by having them reduce the amount that they're paying. But that is your other option should council, like I say, should the municipal board decide that they are refusing the special services levy, then it would go to default and it would be by assessment only at large.
Okay.
So I guess what I'm wanting is discussion around the table. If there's any changes you want to the document as it currently stands.
Okay, so I gotta move her in a second,
You
right?
got to move her in a
So,
second.
just discussion now. Upstairs.
Is staff okay with having the meeting at 6:30? No concerns of overtime?
We always do our budget public hearing in the evening.
Just making sure.
That's more for people coming to town. Any further?
Mr. Chairman, I think we have to have discussion on some of these items, right? So
Are you want to over here now? You're you're gonna want to change that. Obviously, the CAO has put out as to how we progress. But he wants to change it, want to change numbers, you want to change.
I personally, like we said last year, that we don't have money in the budget for this spirit stands, correct? Me if I'm wrong.
there was no running.
Yeah, and
Last year,
we have the money this year.
it was put into the budget and the preliminary
Do
budget.
you think that 20,000 could be used somewhere else in our municipality? I'm just curious.
Sure, but I think the discussion around the table is that there's a lot of, our, I guess our citizens that go to Glenbrook, whether it be to the emergency ward or diagnostic or whatever the case may be. So if they're gonna retain doctors, they feel that the only way they can do it is to build this building. They've got quite a considerable amount of money that has been fundraised so far, so we see that there's a serious situation. And I think council at that time decided that it would be a worthwhile project to put it forward for that minimal amount. They gave money to our rink, they gave money to our fire department, et cetera, et cetera. So I think it's just in a good neighborhood sort of thing.
One thing, Frank, that I've really noticed, and my family uses the local clinic, is we're being totally overwhelmed by people from Brandon. There's a limited number of doctors in Brandon. And I'll bet you probably over half of the people that are at our clinic here come from Brandon.
Yeah, it's one of those situations.
It's just, we're never going to ease everyone.
So, okay, there's other numbers in there. Does anybody have?
They are.
There is one there, but-
Yeah, they are in the preliminary and $20,000 under the general.
As well as the other items that you indicated, and the dates.
Yeah, the $50,000 for the building reserve.
And then 30,000 still.
That is not in there right now.
We could add it, or just take it out of general reserve period.
Like I just feel like I have no information on this at all, so I don't see adding it. Some sort of general reserve down the road, also make a decision on what's fine. I don't have enough information. The budget right now.
So that That eliminates that part unless somebody wants to reword it. Okay, anything else?
In my report, I had indicated that in the budget, as it now stands, we had $6,000 towards the replacement of a tire and rim on the loader. I've had some emails and conversations from counselors saying that the loader continues to get stuck, that we need probably 4 tires. That isn't in the budget right now. Should council want to do that? Craig, some of the information you had sent us was depending on the type of tire, anywhere from about $1,250 per tire up to $5,200 per tire. If council would like to see us set aside money for that, I think it should be included here, whether it is by reduction of another funding source or a reduction in the amount going to a reserve, or understanding that an additional $20,000 would basically increase the percentage tax increase to between 3% and 4%.
Mr. Chairman, so if we sold them fuel tanks, could we kind of switch that money over to tires? I just wondering if we could.
Goes into general revenue,
Yeah.
so.
I just think that, with the grader down, if we got snow like we had, we could possibly, if we had better tires, they can. That's just my,
Yeah, we need,
So-
that middle of the road, $10,000 for tires. Plus changeover costs.
I know the ones they put on,
Nope, I'm just making sure that we're recording.
the ones they put on the town loader, New Holland made all the difference in the world for action and cleaning out and.
So, preliminary budget had an increase of how much? What's the percentage point?
2.30.
2.3 million? Increase? Okay,
Aaron, how do you want to deal with changes? Are you wanting a motion on these or?
well, if you're doing like the CSO situation, that would be in addition to that, so we don't, need a resolution to.
But for council to consider, it'd be nice if people just went around and laid out any thoughts that they had on changes they'd like, and then council
Like,
debate on each one, so then we know what final number we're getting to.
so I mean, the preliminary numbers there, the only thing you've added on here,
Right now is $10,000 for loader tires.
so
Do we know how much the change, and you said plus changeover, do we know how much approximately that would be?
is that 10,000 going to be?
Just for tires?
Just for tires,
No, but I'm just saying 10,000 you're looking at there for tires, are you going to be able to offset that by the revenue coming from his tanks? So it doesn't change our.
It'll be close. It'll be close.
it's,
Yeah, you would show then that we were over in revenues because we don't budget for revenues, and we would offset that by being over in the expenditure.
I understand, but what I'm saying is that will go as a budget item too, then, is the revenue side. You're gonna put it into the budget. It's gonna be on the revenue side, is that not correct?
If you want to add
Well, I'm
revenue,
just saying,
yeah.
you're gonna add this expense, and if you wanna add that as a budget item, as a revenue, you can do that as well. Thereby, again, not changing our percentage of increase. Correct?
Mr. Chairman, I got a quick question with back with the spirit stands. Correct me if I'm wrong. It's the province's duty to keep paying for the healthcare.
True.
So I'm not quite understanding, like Glenborough's building a new
clinic.
clinic, right? But shouldn't the province be involved
the province won't be involved because they already have a present clinic at in the basement of the hospital. What they're saying with Limber, the people are saying that they can't attract new doctors because of the present condition of that.
So do they have a doctor lined up from this clinic?
Well, I think they've got doctors right now, but they're concerned in keeping them. Number one, I think, Swanee Pool is.
Swanee Pool's done,
He retired.
but they got 2 new ones.
Yeah. And this is all part and parcel. They attract them by saying, we're gonna have a new clinic for you, et cetera, et cetera. That's happening all over our area. Whether it be, Burden that's putting in $50,000, just municipal money to try to attract doctors and nurses. Or headhunters and so on and so forth. That's all over the map as far as. I understand what you're saying, and that's my feeling too, that if the provincial government is not coming forward to help these people because they're not going to expend that money on a new clinic because they got one. But they feel they have to have it in order to keep doctors.
So these new doctors that they just got is because they had an incentive saying that they're building a new clinic? Or were these doctors?
I think it's part and parcel. I don't know the exact situation for them, but that's what their pitch is to us, is that they're having to do this for that very purpose.
It's basically like a vet clinic. The vet rents the spot. It's gonna be the same thing with a doctor's clinic. It's gonna be doctors and labs and whatever is going to be renting spots, so. And right now, we have no X-ray or anything in Wawanesa anymore. And
Why is that?
it was outdated and provincial government wouldn't replace it, so just absolutely, there's a room there and everything, and they don't even use it anymore, so.
There's some diagnostic, but it's limited.
Well, it's blood tests
Yeah.
only.
Like, I just feel like I'm not against any of that whatsoever, but I'm just saying, can we say, take that money and put it to this place in here in any way, shape, or form?
But in this clinic here, yeah, I don't know where we put it there. We offered to actually fundraise to bring X-ray in, and they turned us down. So it's because it's all part and parcel of our hospital. This is one building, again, just like Dunbar's.
I totally understand where all the municipalities are coming from, but I just think it's making the province less involved if all these municipalities are putting all their money together, and it's not doing anything except for letting the province go.
I hear you. In my mentor for a long time, but hasn't got very far. So that's what happens with these groups. So,
I don't know. I'm sure that 20,000 go towards something else in the municipality, like making an immediate impact. We don't actually know if that's gonna make an impact whatsoever.
yeah. I guess that's true. I think it's like Councillor Fisher is saying, like the vet makes of the thing, how much impact is we getting from our funding of that?
Yeah, we fund the vet clinic like $400 a year.
And I mean, over time,
And they're still not
it's a per
making a
capita,
profit.
right?
Yeah, and they're still not making a profit. That's constantly.
No, and I think that's gonna come to a head too, where we're gonna have to probably put more in to keep that, get there.
Yeah, I'm kind of, Mr. Chairman, I'm kind of agreeing that if we could put that money towards fundraising for a doctor in Wawanesa, I'd be more for that too, right? But if there's no way you could, but has the municipality tried to get a new doctor in Wawanesa?
Well, we don't need one right now, because we only got 2 spots, and we got a nurse practitioner and a doctor right now, and we're holding on for dearly.
But there is nowhere to put a third person
Third doctor.
or third doctor.
Mr. Chairman, yeah, I struggle with this one. I agree with Councillor Jones that this is a provincial responsibility that I feel like we're shifting to municipal. But I also know that there is usage, Oakland-Wawanesa residents. Clinic, and that it is a beneficial thing from that perspective, so I think I'm probably in favor of some amount, but I just am not thinking the whole amount, so.
Did they give money to our rink?
Yeah, they contributed around 20,000. I would have to look up the exact number, but yeah, so when the ice plant project was being completed, funding place that was specific for Wawanesa recreation facilities.
And they also had families in that municipality that gave to the rink as well.
There's also the pool too. I mean, there's a contribution made to the pool. I guess this is the stuff that you run into when you get, you go to other municipalities and they say, well, you know, we gave whatever. I think they gave for our fire truck as well. When that came up, it doesn't matter. I mean, there's a lot of things and, you know, it's hard for me to sit here and say that we should do it. At the same time, it's hard to say we shouldn't do it. So I agree that this is a provincial thing, but the province is not coming forward. It doesn't matter what politicians are there. It's the healthcare system across Canada is in a mess. It's in a crisis situation. And unfortunately, in a crisis situation, we have to take some things on ourselves. So this is something that's come up. So again, there's a resolution.
Yeah, so I guess I'm putting forward a request to change the amount to 10,000
Per year or just once?
all we're dealing with is it's this budget, so.
Okay, so we want to do that resolution now, deal with that, or?
I would say, are there any other thoughts going around the table as to
Thinking of
any other?
An amendment or something.
Yeah, and like I said, we would do these each individually. It's just sometimes if you know everything that's on the floor, you have a different view as to what you're voting yay or nay for.
Yeah, so I would also put forward and I don't. Probably not gonna find a lot of agreement on this one, but I don't believe the building is the right forward here. I think we could invest. You know, that $750,000 into. Sorry, to be clear, there's not 750,000 in this budget. I'm just using a round number of what I think this could end up costing. We invest into our own network. So I would like to remove that. I'd agree with that. Put it forward.
Question, I guess, is if until we get to the point of knowing whether or not it's worth going forward with the debenture, would you want to transfer that instead of putting it into a building reserve allocation, put it into a general reserve? So it's
At the very least, that would make more sense to me. But if there's no agreement on removing it completely, very wise to put it in the general reserve, but not put it in the.
Is that all the item in the budget that you were discussing?
well, those were the ones that I was aware of. I was hoping council had taken a good look through it. I think any of the changes that we had made administratively kind of spoke to for themselves as to where we arrived at the numbers that we did.
I would like to see that, personally, like to see the money left in the building reserve.
Okay, well then we'll.
Well, we'll get that.
do the vote.
Okay.
All right, if I'm not hearing anything else.
Okay. So, you want to address that? Each
Yeah,
individual?
each individually.
It resolved that if we add $10,000 for loader tires, let's change over.
Do we have an idea approximately what changeover would cost?
I would say about 45,000.
For all parts, and then really and truly what we're adding is about 15,000.
Minimum.
Adding it to the 6 that we already had.
We give, we're giving up to $10,000.
Okay, so,
And plus change.
The 6 would be.
Okay.
the changeover then.
so it's being resolved that we add $14,000 for loader tires plus changeover. Have somebody move
Including
that,
changeover.
including
Yeah,
changeover,
so that's,
the 14,000, which includes the changeover.
Right.
Somebody move that? Counselor Fisher, second Counselor McDonald. Discussion. All in favor?
In favor.
Be it resolved that we add revenue for the sale of tanks of approximately $10,000 to the budget. Moved by Counselor McDonald, second or Counselor McGregor. Discussion.
hold on a minute.
All in favor?
In favor.
Give me a minute.
That's recorded.
9. Emergency. Okay, and that was McDonald McGregor.
Fisher.
Fisher and McDonald added 14,000 to the tires.
Okay,
McDonald and McGregor for the sale of the tanks. We haven't voted.
all in favor?
Favor.
Okay, the next one is be it resolved that we reduce the Spirit Sands grant to $10,000. Moved by Councilor McGregor, seconder. Mr. Fisher. Discussion. All in favor?
In favor.
Opposed?
Remove.
Okay, be resolved that we remove the $50,000 building reserve allocation to general reserve. Moved by Councilor McGregor. That is yours, right?
Do you want to just remove it entirely first?
Yeah,
And
I
then,
think there should be a motion to remove it entirely.
To remove, so be it resolved that we remove the $50,000 building reserve allocation. Moved by Councilor McGregor, seconder. Seconder. Nobody seconded, so that will be defeated.
So does that still stay in the building reserve then?
where it is for now.
Okay, thank you.
Be it resolved that the
$50,000.
$50,000, this allocation to building reserve be changed to the general reserve. So moved by Councilor McGregor, second Councilor Fisher. Discussion. All in favor? Opposed?
Opposed.
Okay, so we will make those changes to the preliminary budget before it gets sent out to the public.
Okay, so we had the preliminary reserve to start with. And we had a mover and a seconder. Right? Being received.
For my document.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
We
we
got to vote on that. right?
Yeah.
So all in favor? The preliminary budget?
In favor.
Okay, be it resolved that the final documentation be prepared and the required notice to be given for the public hearing to be held Tuesday, March 18th, 2025 at 6:30 PM, subject to the municipal board information being
received municipal board decision document.
so Be it resolved that the final documentation be prepared and the required notice be given to, for the public hearing to be held Tuesday, March 18, 2025, 6:30. Me? Subject to receipt of municipal board decision document. Moved by. Seconder?
Can somebody be recording movers and seconders?
Yeah, I'll go. Well, no. You second that? Okay, discussion.
But debate because municipal board is on the line.
Got the minister coming in about 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. We already voted on that motion.
No, we haven't. No.
Oh, okay, sorry.
No.
Right.
All in favor?
Whoa. She's asking us to not.
Oh, right.
Right. Until. That's what I thought was already done.
We will go into recess.
Okay, so municipal board has let us know that they did error in their document. They did receive objection. It is not enough to change their decision. And we should have a new decision document in time for, well, probably by later today. We'll put bylaw 43 back on the agenda in March. Because we should have the decision document back.
So, so that's done.
So then we can remove the subject to receipt of municipal board documentation on the,
How much is needed? 25?
So we've removed that portion of it. So just to read that the public hearing on March 18, 2025 at 6:30 PM. All in favor?
In favor.
With that, I am going to.
Yeah.
Gregor's going to take over the meeting.
Okay.
We'll be back from the trail later.
We're gonna. We'll be right back.
no, I need to have the decision document. We'll do that so we can do it at the March meeting.
Okay.
Let me just record the date. It's meeting.
Okay, resolved at the request of Aurora Land Consulting LTD on behalf of Rich Pipelines Inc. For use of an existing approach on Mount One North. With the big 33,718 first land in the correspondence dated February 13th, 2025. Be approved under the same terms and conditions as the original agreement. Donald. Second by Councilor Fisher, discussion. All in favor?
In favor.
Be resolved that the information provided by the chief administrative officer and the independent contractor be received and no further, or so this is in regard to sheer Don's issue. So be resolved that the information provided by the chief administrative officer and the independent contractor be received and no further action nor delegations be received on the matter. Councilor McDonald, seconded by Councilor Fisher. Discussion. All in favor?
Favor.
Carried. Okay, number 2, government road utility account. Be it resolved that the utility account for number 2 government road be written off in accordance with the year-end policy and a new water meter installed. Councilor Fisher, seconded by Councilor Jones. Discussion. All in favor?
In favor.
Carried. Building inspection report, grant to Brennan Hills Mobile Home Park. Be it resolved that a new building inspector be appointed under the same terms and conditions of the previous inspection and a final report be provided to the public. trustee. Mover. Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Fisher. Discussion. All in favor?
Favor.
Fire inspector contract. Be it resolved that the 3-year fire inspector contract with Fire Chief Dennis Gullett be approved as previously circulated for the years 2025 to 2027. Second mover. Councilor Jones, seconded by Councilor Fisher. Discussion. All in favor?
In favor.
New shop preliminary discussion, be it resolved that administration be directed to explore lot options, costs and proposals / tenders for construction of a new shop in Nesbit for possible inclusion in the 2026 budget. Mover, Councilor Jones, seconded by Councilor Fisher. Discussion. All in favor?
In favor.
Opposed? Carried. Gravel hauling tender, be it resolved that the bid of Fred Gilbert for gravel hauling for the 3 years being 2025 to 2027 in the amount of $5 per yard for loading and 46 cents per yard for loaded hauling for approximately 12,000 yards be accepted. Mover, Councilor Fisher, seconded by Councilor McDonald. Discussion. All in favor?
Favor.
Okay, non-union paid administration program and current union agreement, be it resolved that increases be provided to staff in accordance with information circulated to council. Mover. Councilor McDonald, seconder, Councilor Jones, discussion. All in favor?
Favor.
Wage premium, be it resolved that $1 per hour wage premium be approved when certified non-union employees are actively engaged in its certification within the municipality. Mover. Jones, seconder. McDonald, discussion. Councilor.
Is $1 enough?
Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Chair.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman.
I was thinking I'm the chair of the personnel committee. So I would just comment that this is what has been negotiated so far. In agreement, so an attempt to keep the terms and conditions the same.
Well, real stuff.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Favor.
Opposed? Carried. New certification recognition, be it resolved that in accordance with motion number 24-19, shall be recognized for achieving the compliance officer certification and pesticide certification. New certifications applicable to the public works manager position with a one-time payment of $600 each. Mover. So Fisher, seconded by Councilor Jones. Just note our congratulations of council.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
In favor.
CEO performance review, be it resolved from a review of the chief administrative officer be received and increases in the existing contract be approved. Mover, Fisher, seconded by Councilor Jones. Any discussion? All in favor?
In favor.
Be it resolved that this meeting does now adjourn to meet again on March 18th, 2025 at 9 a.m. Councilor Fisher, seconded by Councilor McDonald. All in favor?
In favor.